Oh, well, usually she... That's how she rationalized being late. I'm always late. Then you'll take it and put it in the back under all the rest and then go to where we're going to go today.
All right, looks like we're all ready. You guys ready? Yeah, awesome. All right, well, feel free to step in closer so folks that trickle in have room. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to February's First Friday Art Walk. Thank you all for being here. How many people it's your first Art Walk? Oh, nice. Yeah, for the first time doing the tour. Well, welcome. We're so glad you're here. My name is Leora Sponko. I'm the Executive Director of Lane Arts Council. We organize First Friday Art Walk, and we work to cultivate strong and creative arts communities. We work throughout Lane County, and you guys know this is our 40th year this year. Lane Arts Council turns 40. Yeah, right? Thank you. 40 years we've been serving artists. We serve arts organizations. We are in schools doing arts education. And we work county-wide. We work all across the county with many different programs. So do stay in touch with us. Get on our newsletter to learn about what we're doing. Right now we have community arts grants available for artists and arts organizations doing projects. And we also have workshops for artists and arts organizations. So do look on our website, sign up for our newsletter to learn about everything that we're doing. And thank you all for your support of the arts. I mean, if you're here at the Art Walk, that means you care about the arts, you love the arts in your community. So thank you. One thing that you'll notice that's different about this Art Walk is that we're going to have some surveyors, some people, they're getting trained right now in the corner here. They are going to be surveying you, patrons of the arts. We're doing this throughout the year at our Art Walks, at different art events. This is a study done by the Americans for the Arts, and they're doing it nationwide. And in Oregon, we're about one of 10 sites in Oregon that are doing this to assess the economic impact of the arts. So we want to know, how much do you spend on the arts? How much do you spend on food when you're at an art event? How much do you spend on childcare? When we did this 5 years ago, we learned that the arts is a $45 million industry in the city of Eugene and employs 1,700 people. So it's pretty significant industry. And so now 5 years later, we're doing the survey again to find out how we've changed and hopefully how we've grown. So thank you for your participation in the survey. This Art Walk is possible because of sponsors, so I'd like to thank Euphoria Chocolate Company for sponsoring February's Art Walk. Please help me thank Euphoria. We love their chocolates, right? And they will be the last stop on the Art Walk as well, so do check them out. They have a new location on Willamette and 9th, right next to like Urban Wax and Barnlight area, so do check that out. And also, Mindy Linder from Eugene Concert Choir is here because she is doing a ticket giveaway for their February 27th performance of Burt Bacharach's Songbook. So do see Mindy and enter in the raffle for free tickets. So thank you, Eugene Concert Choir, for being here tonight. Okay. So now I would love to introduce our Art Walk host, and as you know, every month we have a different host that takes you through 5 of the guided stops and interviews the artists, and that's what's really special and different about our Art Walk versus other Art Walks around the country, that you actually get to hear from the artists. So I would love to introduce our host, Bob Kiefer. He is a former arts journalist for the Register Guard, and he also has his own blog where he writes about the arts. He's a Lane Arts Council board member, and he has actually interviewed many people in this community, and he's done many interviews on the Art Walk, so he's a pro. So this is going to be a really excellent, pay attention to the questions he asks. They're very thoughtful. So thank you, Bob, for hosting. Help me welcome Bob Kiefer.
Well, thank you all. I just want to take the opportunity to do a quick reflection on the year 1976. Now, if you can't remember 1976, it was because you spent so much time in a discotheque you're embarrassed to remember it. But 1976 is very important. First off, Leora was born in 1976. Happy birthday, Leora. She just celebrated her birthday. We won't tell you how old she is. But also in 1976, I mean, think back. Jimmy Carter was nominated to run against Gerald Ford. for the presidency. Patty Hearst was convicted and sentenced for armed robbery. A little company called Apple Computer was founded and started competing with a one-year-old company named Microsoft. And in that weird milieu, one more point I wanted to make, the Ramones. They put out their first album. So into that steps this federal program to hand out money for arts around the country, and they wanted regional councils to distribute it, and thus was Lane Arts born, along with a lot of other similar organizations around the country. Not all of those have survived. Lane Arts has, through some very trying economic times. And so I think that it's important for the community to know what good work Lane Arts has done. I'm not patting myself on the back because I wasn't a part of much of that. But I've stepped in to try to keep the ship afloat and keep it on course. Now, we are here to see the art of two young artists. We have them right here. Why don't you guys come up? It's Laura Figa, who did this piece on this side, and Willie Boswick over here. And let's start with you, Willie. When I look at the work by the two of you around the room, it's fairly easy to discriminate one from the other. You are pretty absorbed with pattern and more formal characteristics. And if you could just grab the mic and hold it close and tell us a bit about who you are and what you're doing in your work.
Hi, I'm Willie, and I like to use repetition and color in my work to achieve these optical moments that are completely based on the process I use and are not purposeful. I feel that the unique marks that I make show my hand in a way that kind of like bring the piece all together. And yeah, I think that's the most interesting part of my work.
This particular piece vibrates when I look at it.
Yeah.
Is it meant to?
That's what happened after I made it.
And you do a lot of monochrome work.
Yeah, some monochrome.
Uh-huh.
I like to use simple color palettes, like one or two colors.
Okay.
But I think they achieve like the strongest reactions in the human eye and the perception of the work.
Now Willie just graduated from that little football institution down the road. And I understand you're headed to Portland if things pan out.
Yeah, eventually.
Why would you ever want to go to Portland?
I don't know. It's a good place.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot of rain. Yeah.
So I hear
Nice people.
For the art scene?
Yeah, I think the art scene there is nice, up and coming
Uh-huh.
for younger artists. Better than like New York or LA, I guess.
Better than New York.
Yeah, for younger artists.
For younger artists.
Yeah.
Okay. And Laura has this other more organic. Oh, thank you. Okay, now you can actually hear me. Laura's work, you can see as here, is a little more organic, a little more rougher edge. Can you tell us what's going on there?
Yeah, definitely. So kind of feeding off of what you're talking about, discriminating this work here, I think I'm thinking about this idea of discriminating and separating of materials and aesthetics and the identities that are kind of paired with each. So I'm really trying to work with several different mediums at once to kind of merge and find a harmony between the two of them, or more. Kind of looking on how each imprints the other in the kind of narrative, both aesthetically and historically, that comes with each of those mediums. So oil painting in tandem with clay, for instance. So finding the new identity and what happens when you strip one medium of its past identity and kind of recontextualize it with something new. How does that work out? So there's a lot of questioning in my work, and I would say my work's kind of idea-based, and then I very much play with the materials. So it's kind of this joyful, primitive exploration.
Now you have this piece right on the end of the wall here with some sort of transparent, translucent nylon.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Okay, yeah, so this nylon, I think in general this material kind of references the body, which is very intriguing to me to work with in terms of using these non-bodily materials, materials that are not meant to necessarily interact with the body. They're not utilitarian, whereas this nylon is. So again, taking that material, placing it, placing it underneath this clay and kind of building up on top of it. And this idea of kind of adding as a way of taking away the identity, again, of this word, of the nylon. I'm also interested in this nylon because of its transparency. This particular piece, it's called Cold School, is a slight reflection on the kind of insular, reflexive, cyclical, vacuum-like nature of artistic institutions and what it means to even process and look at art.
Well, you're so cruel about art school.
I'm applying for my MFA.
You told me earlier you've been in a creative writing program, is that right?
Yeah, I came to UO to study English and work in creative writing where I focused on poetry. So language is really important to my work as well. The title is, I think, pretty crucial to the kind of fuller read of the work. Again, playing off of several different mediums, language very much one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions from the audience for either of these two?
So had you had any art before you came to the U of O?
Yeah, I did actually. I studied at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and I wanted to come out west because I hadn't been before, and I had kind of an unorthodox high school career, and I wanted to get a kind of fully fleshed out academic career. So, and understanding literature and its roots, I think was really important and actually very much expanded my visual and art vocabulary as well. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because the Art Institute of Chicago has, well, Northwest Art has some fairly deep roots there. In particular, a painter here of some significance, David Nakash, and his early work came out of that.
Out of Chicago.
Right.
Yeah. I'm personally not super well versed with his work, so I unfortunately can't add too much to that.
But he's not as well known as he should be outside of Oregon.
It's a familiar name. What kind of? I don't know what kind of work he's.
Increasingly abstract landscapes.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, and mill about. Enjoy the work, and we'll head out of here in about 10 minutes. Do I see a question? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was going to say, artists always are in conversation with those before us. Who are you in conversation with? Artists?
Like
Yeah, like.
Same he and another man do a lot of kind of precarious stacking of sculptures using found objects, kind of.
Okay, I'll follow her and then I'll do it.
Okay. Hello, welcome to the first Friday Art Walk here at New Zone Gallery. My name is Leora Sponko, and I'm the new Executive Director at Lane Arts Council. And this is my second Friday Art Walk in my position, so it's wonderful to see you again. So today we have such a treat. We have staff, writers, columnists from the Register Guard, Bob Kiefer and Bob Walt will be hosting the Art Walk today, so I will pass it over to you.
As you may know, the Art Walk is every first Friday of the month, rain or shine, but hopefully from now on we'll have beautiful weather like we did today, so we look forward to seeing you every first Friday.
Well, happy April Fool's Day. And we are the Art Fools. Neither one of us has ever hosted an art walk in our lives. And so you are in for an interesting experience this evening. But let me start by saying just a bit about the Art Walk. It's a free walking tour about all the downtown art spaces. It happens once a month on the first Friday. We'll spend half an hour at each place. Yes. And so we will talk a bit with Steve Larisha here, the head honcho at this particular gallery, and then give you guys some time to go around and explore wonderful art. And then we will wander down the street to see the Eugene Storefront Art Project. Anyhow, I'm Bob Kiefer. I write about art at the Register Guard. This is Bob Welch. We're affectionately known as Bob 1 and Bob 2 in the newsroom. Bob Welch is the columnist. He's actually far better known than I am in the real world. I'm probably slightly better known than he is in the arts world, I hope. This is the New Zone Gallery. If you are not familiar with it, the New Zone is the most democratic and inclusive of galleries in Eugene. Steve here, who has been running this project more or less forever, has a vision of art as something that the world should take part in and should be accessible to artists without juries and without barriers. And I think that he's done a really good job of implementing that vision here by running a gallery that has a presence in the downtown and attracts artists of every ability level, from beginner to really professional level. And they show here together, making art a kind of communal and community activity. The other thing that he's been a significant player in Eugene is that he opened up the Mayor's Art Show, which is a juried show, the absolute opposite of the New Zone. Years ago, I don't even know how many years ago now. 20 years ago this year. By hosting the Salon des Refusés, which is a French term that harks back to the Napoleonic Salon in Paris, where the French Academy had such a stranglehold on the art world that the up-and-coming interesting artists, the young impressionists, needed a place to exhibit. Napoleon said, okay, we'll have a counter salon to the official French Academy. So in Eugene, what that has meant is that everyone who gets rejected by the Mayor's Art Show has a show of their own, the Salon. The Salon, of course, has many more people in it, has a much better opening party, has a lot more energy in a lot of ways. The Mayor's Show is polite and sort of tasteful, and the Salon is rock and roll. I'm now going to pass it over to Bob Welch, the other side of the equation here, and let him comment a bit on the Salon Show.
Well, thank you, Bob. I can only assume that I am sort of the April Fool's joke of this leadership team here, because he said that I think you said that you write a little bit more about art than I do, and I very rarely write about art. It's one of those kind of foreign territories to me. What's that? I did write about a photo yesterday, so I guess that qualifies. 1,800 columns, I'm 1 for 1,800. But I've always believed that you should take chances and you should throw yourselves into things that you're not familiar with. So that's why I'm here, because I'll learn something tonight. I'll meet some people. My horizons will be broadened. I'll get a few column ideas. I'll have some fun. And Bob Kiefer will do all the heavy lifting when it comes to actually explaining the art and everything. So I feel a little bit like somebody who's been asked, an atheist who's been asked to come to the Vatican and lead people in prayer. A little bit out of my element, but happy to be here with you tonight, and let's just see what happens.
Well, now I'll ask Steve here to talk about the Zone for All show.
Thank you, Bob and Leora, for bringing all these wonderful people to the New Zone Gallery on this wonderful First Friday Art Walk. I take advantage of the weather because it's going to rain for the rest of April. That's just an April Fool's joke. Could be right. Again, thank you everybody for coming out. Can you hear me better if I just yell? Yeah. I hate these stupid things. Okay. Again, thank you everybody for coming out to the 4th annual Zone for All. The Zone for All is an open, non-juried show to any artist. And we have approximately 170 pieces of work in the gallery. I'm going to keep this short because we have these 170 pieces of art, and I would like you to spend time checking out this art. Everybody that came in today, I hope they got a ballot. This is a ballot. Chris is over there, he has the ballots. Grab one from Chris if you haven't received one yet. Each piece will have a card. Each piece has a card, it's tagged, and there's a number on there. Look at all the pieces before you start picking them out, and on your way out, drop your ballot with your donation, if you like, in our donation pot, which is by Chris. And the winner will get a membership to you know what I'm trying to say, we'll get a membership to New Zone. So please fill this out. We're only going to do this for a few days, maybe a few weeks, I'm not really sure. So deposit these in our donation pot. We also like to thank Nikasi Brewing for their donation of beer. They help us out every month. Ron's Island Grill for their teriyaki chicken and rice. Also, a few other stops you should make tonight is Woodpeckers. They're not in the art walk tonight, but Woodpeckers Muse has a show by Bryce Mayall. They're 2 blocks down on the right. And another wonderful place is Big Gamin' Fool's Gold. The show's only tonight. Well, I'm telling them anyhow. They're all on your map there. So thank you, Jessica. So I know there's something else I was going to say. I forgot. Oh yes, about the salon. The Salon de Refusé is now history. Has been since 2009. Last year we started a transition of making that an open, non-juried show because of the changes in the jurying and for intaking of art. So it made it difficult for people to enter art. I shouldn't say that. It's different. So we decided to have an open, non-juried show for the salon. We still keep the name Salon, but not Salon de Refusé because they won't be refused. So we will have a salon show here during the Eugene celebration. It just won't be the Salon de Refusé. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming out on this wonderful evening. Please spend some time. We have some wonderful food, some beer, some wine. We have music by Jill Leddit, and she has CDs available. And she's going to start performing here in just a minute. I know we have some of the artists here. Some of the artists here tonight? Raise your hands. Okay, if you can, we're not going to have you all.
Thank you all for being here. First Friday Art Walk of the year. Love this turnout. It's fantastic. And we're so lucky to have such a beautiful evening, beautiful weather today. Yes. So thank you all for gathering. It's so good to see some familiar faces. Happy New Year, everyone. I see artists in residence. I see Eugene Arte Latino. I see lots of familiar faces. So wonderful. Hi, Merritt. My name is Leora Spalko. I'm the Executive Director of Lane Arts Council. Folks, come gather around. We'll get to meet some of the artists up here. Hello. So we're here. This is our third stop on the Art Walk. And folks, it'll be so much easier to, I have a little bit of a cold, so that's why I don't know if you can hear me very well. Folks, we're gonna move ahead with our interviews, but I want to first thank our sponsors. This art walk is sponsored by the Barnlight and Noisette Pastry Kitchen. How's this working? These are two fantastic local businesses that just opened up in this neighborhood downtown, so we're very supportive of those businesses that are supporting the art walk this month. So if everyone has an art walk guide, you'll see all the different places that we are going to tonight and also all the other galleries that are open. On the back of the guide, you'll see the Barnlight has a coupon. So during the month of January, you can use this coupon for 50 cents off coffee or tea. So feel free to grab an art walk guide from Jessica. So I'd like to introduce Jo Ellen. She is the co-president of the New Zone Gallery. She'll tell you a little bit about this fantastic space where artists can become members of, and then we'll interview our artists.
Hello. I'm not used to doing this, so bear with me. Happy New Year to everyone, and welcome to New Zone. I want to thank everybody who helped us become the best gallery in Eugene.
Okay, folks, we're going to need your help here. If you don't mind gathering in a little bit and lowering your voices, you'll be able to hear us much better. We're gonna work on our microphone. Thank you.
Thank you. This is gonna work. Yes, here we go. Jo Ellen.
Okay. Again, welcome to New Zone. Oh, okay. I want to It's on again. Oh, there it is. I want to remind everybody that we have the Zone for All coming in April, where everybody from the community is welcome to bring in work. They don't have to be a member, and that's in April. So look for flyers and information on that. But tonight I want to introduce one of the two artists that you will be seeing tonight, Mary Wagner, and this is her show on the wall here. She's the featured artist. After she talks, then you'll be going into the other room, and Maureen Campbell is doing a painting demonstration, and she also will do a presentation about her exhibit, which is a spotlighted artist. Okay? Thank you.
Mary, please tell us about your work.
Thank you, and I'm glad that you're all here tonight. Thanks for coming. I don't have a lot to say. I paint because I enjoy the sheer pleasure of putting color on paper, and with the hopes that I will capture some little piece of what I see as beautiful in the world. And I don't paint just landscapes, but I'm a lazy artist, and there are beautiful landscapes everywhere I look, so it's easy to grab a pencil and a paintbrush and get to work on those. If you look at my work, you'll see that some of it is representational, and some of it edges more over into the abstract side. A lot of these paintings are not intended to represent a specific place in Oregon, but the feel of the places in Oregon that you've loved. For example, the beach. And I've lived in Oregon for 69 years, and I can't help it if memories and impressions from during my whole lifetime creep into what I'm painting. So I hope that you enjoy these paintings, that they remind you of some place you've been in Oregon that you've loved, and that maybe they will open your eyes just a little bit to all the beauty that's all around you. So thank you for being here.
But we'll just need everyone to help us out, and we're not going to be using a microphone right at this moment, but I would love to ask Mary a few questions. So you say there's not a particular spot, but you go to different places to paint?
I do.
Your work, what places do you go and find inspiration?
I think the three places, generally speaking, that I like to paint are the Oregon coast, the Willamette Valley, and the wetlands across Oregon, including specifically Malheur Wildlife Refuge in southeastern Oregon and the Steens Mountain area. So those are probably my three biggest sources of inspiration.
And you say that you associate your paintings with a memory oftentimes. Is there a certain painting you want to talk about that you associate with a memory?
I don't think so. It's just more the impressions that I have with me from having been here for a long life.
Does anybody have any questions for Mary? Try it again.
One other thing, there is a basket of bookmarks over in this direction. And until they're gone, if somebody wants to take a bookmark home, you're welcome to have them.
Okay, thank you. That's great. Thank you, Mary. So we will grab a bookmark and then head to the other room and see Maureen Campbell.
Good job.
Okay.
I haven't wrote it.
This room. Okay, so folks, we're gonna. This is Maureen Campbell. And we're gonna, this is her work on this wall back here. These are all of her pieces. So take a look, they're so vibrant, the colors, and they're so beautiful. Could you just speak to us about your work?
Well, I really love, bright colors, and so mostly I love doing abstracts. And so I pick my favorite colors and start putting them on the canvas and pick another color that I really like. And between working with palette knife and particular types of brushes, I get the light, fluffy look.
So I told Maureen I was going to ask her a question. She did a little ad in the Eugene Weekly. I don't know if you saw this. It's on towards the back. You should read it. It's really interesting. It talks about her workshops and her way of teaching art, how everyone's an artist and everyone has creativity, and it's really inspiring, even just what you wrote here. And I really like what you said, that, because you said you used to paint land and seascapes, animals, but that in recent years you said, I've given myself the freedom to paint abstractly, spontaneously, and most significantly, to have a kinder inner critic.
Yes.
What did you mean by that? I like
Well,
that.
I started painting when I was about 11, and so I learned to do landscapes and seascapes then. And then there was a period of time where I was really severely judging what I was painting, and so I wouldn't even make it through a canvas, and it would go to St. Vincent's. The canvas would be unfinished, and so with all, some personal growth and just being more gentle with myself and allowing myself to work with a palette knife that I thought made clunky looking, thick, unattractive art. Just working with that and finding a way to have create something beautiful from it. And I feel that it creates, when I'm nicer to myself, that I create a much more beautiful piece of artwork. So that is my intention, and that is when people come and paint with me, that is my intention, that they actually feel good in the moment of painting. So, anyway, so there you go.
That's such a beautiful, I hope you all heard that. That was such a beautiful lesson, and so many truths into what you just said about art and about anything, just being true to yourself, and the expression just flows naturally from that. And it just seems like that's the style of the way you work and create your art. It comes from within, and you just let that happen organically. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Does anyone have any questions for Maureen before she does a demo for us?
I have some questions.
Yeah.
Are you going to be using acrylic or oil?
This is oils.
And what solvents are you using?
I am using walnut oil, walnut alkyd. They don't smell so bad. So, and the paint that I usually choose to use is a paint that has walnut oil in it. And there's several that offer different oils in it. So it's not so smelly.
Any other questions for Maureen? Would you like to show us how you go about your work?
Sure. So one of the things I do is I have a favorite palette knife, and this is actually called a painting knife. Oh, it's a painting knife, and I load it up with paint and some different colors on here. Let's see, this is going to be wild because I've got a variety of things here. All right, I'm going to go over here. All right, so let's see what comes out. And I just take it in curves, the edge of this color, and just kind of work into the edge and bring it out into the rest of the canvas, and kind of create a light, fluffy flow. So that's kind of how it evolves. And these brushes are really nice. Not all brushes create this light, fluffy effect. And so I'll just add more on and put more paint.
Right.